So,
So,
schönen Abend.
schönen Abend.
Ich bin Greg
Ich bin John.
und zusammen wir sind Buchhönher Talk. So, heute Abend wir sprechen über Abortion, ein Essen mit dem Präsident von Amerika, Johnny Depp und Amber Heard und ein Komiker, David Chappelle, und die beste Thema von John, Elon Musk, wie
Twitter.
immer,
Twitter.
und Twitter, und wie immer, den Pop Question.
I
Danke.
hate that question.
Genau. Danke alles für hier bei unser Buchhönher Talk Episode Nummer 1, erste Episode, Greensboro Style.
Danke.
Danke. So, big news with John and Greg. Buchhönher Talk Edition.
Buchhönher Talk Edition. Greensboro Effect.
Greensboro Effect with my Bitburger beer here.
Und Red Oak beer.
I'm
authentic
from
German style
Prost.
lager. Prost.
Buchhönher Talk. So I think
This is an authentic American-made German lager.
yes.
All German ingredients.
Yes. So I think Marcus's show is better than ours
Okay.
because he has a logo and everything.
He
And
does
he's
look
on
pretty
Spotify.
professional.
It's professional. So I think we should just copy his show.
Okay.
Just copy it.
Hey, we have 30 subscribers
25
now.
subscribers.
Oh, was exaggerating? I'm exaggerating by 2. No, we're up. We're up over 25.
Really?
I think we have at least 26.
Okay. So we're just going to copy Marcus's format for his Buchhönher Talk show. I don't mind stealing from friends.
Yeah, especially if they're good.
Especially if it's a good concept
It's
and
good.
then you're a good friend.
And he was a heck of a guest host.
He was. He did a very good
fabulous job.
Yeah. So
He was really better than me. It was a little embarrassing, honestly.
no, I think you both did a good job. He likes you a lot, and
I love Marcus. He's awesome.
yes, we love you, Marcus. So we're just copying your show. So welcome to Big News with John and Greg, Buchhönher Talk Edition. Yes. So, as you know, I'm just to say very briefly, Ukraine, Pelosi went there, showing
Good for her.
support.
Yeah.
They're evacuating people from Mariupol.
It's an accomplishment.
They're getting some help from NATO. They're getting some help from America.
Get a lot of help from.
They're sending some arms.
Yeah.
So we just want to send our love to the people of Ukraine.
100%.
Vladimir Zelensky,
He's awesome.
right?
I just hate the fact Putin's just blowing that
blowing them up,
country
up. But we
so much
focused,
devastation.
yes, but we focused on that enough.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So we need to
You
move
guys
on
covered
to
that
other
good.
stuff, right?
Yep, for sure.
And because we also spoke about that with Young Business
Yes.
earlier today.
I like Young Business, Mr. Blake.
Mr. Blake, he's a good kid, man. I like him a lot. So, the big thing in the news this week is the Supreme Court.
Mm.
Tell us what happened in the Supreme Court. What's going on there?
Well, the big question is who leaked it. Justice Roberts suggested.
Who leaked what? Because we can't assume.
Oh, but I thought you had kind of pre-covered this. So okay, so the what was leaked was that the Supreme Court, in a preliminary vote, had determined that Roe v. Wade basically is not.
Which is what kind of a case?
It is women's right to manage their body if they are pregnant.
Right, and that was codified in which year?
That was 73, I believe.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you need to get that?
I'm gonna. I think I might need to. This is a little weird.
Okay. I'm just gonna pause it. I'm gonna pause it. All right, we are back. So we were talking about the Supreme Court. So then there was a decision made, Roe versus Wade, back in 1973.
Correct.
And tell the listeners what the ruling was about.
So what this was it was a judgment by the Supreme Court, which actually was dominated by Republican appointed justices, which is ironic because that seems to be what is going to take this judgment away potentially. But what it said is no state can determine that a woman cannot control the decision about bringing a baby to birth without with an authority determining whether she can choose to do it or not.
In other words, the woman had federal protection over abortion.
Correct.
She had federal protection.
Yes, there are complications with the different trimesters and so forth.
But the crux of the law was a woman had federal
protection. There was no law, and this is the key thing. It was a determination that by the Supreme Court, it was never codified as law by Congress, and this is why it can be removed.
Gotcha. It was never codified. Right. Okay.
So but everybody thought it was safe.
Right.
Nobody ever wanted to tackle this.
So now,
there's a
somebody
case.
Somebody brought it to the Supreme Court.
Correct.
Right. Probably a think tank, a conservative think tank, brought it to the Supreme Court for them to listen to, and then somebody, who was it that wrote? Was it Samuel Alito? That wrote the opinion back in February.
Correct.
Okay. And then the opinion essentially said what?
That none of that matches the Founding Fathers' vision of what the Constitution is about. So there's no constitutional protection here. The determination is they didn't understand, the Founding Fathers didn't say anything about the subject matter. So therefore, it's not constitutional. So this is how we eliminate this. Even though there is so much 50 years of precedence, previous courts in the 2000s and the 90s.
They also didn't talk about electric vehicles.
They did not.
They had horses.
That's correct. It's all a bunch of BS.
Right.
The reason the Constitution was designed to be flexible is because these dudes were smart enough. They were all dudes. They were smart enough to understand things change.
So let's focus on this leak. So somebody leaked Samuel Alito's opinion.
Right.
Who was it? We don't know?
We don't know. I have a weird, twisted guess. I think that Chief Justice Roberts, who is a true, when I say this, true conservative, meaning that he believes that the court should just interpret things based on the situation of fact. He should not bring politics into it. I believe personally he is not pro-abortion. I believe personally in his life. But I believe that
the question was who leaked it.
So I'm leading to that. I'm setting that up.
We only have 30 minutes, so you
I know.
Go quick.
That is my own time limit, 30 minutes, because I know I need a time limit. So I believe there's a small chance that it's somebody, either Justice Roberts or someone in his office, might have leaked this to put pressure on someone like a Kavanaugh, more likely, or potentially.
But Roberts says he's pissed.
He's pissed. He has to be.
He's pissed.
Because it's his court.
But I don't think Robert. I think he's an upstanding guy. I don't think he put somebody up.
I don't think. Maybe someone in his office, or it could be one of the liberals. I don't know. Somebody did it to put pressure on these people to rethink their votes.
Now, the good news
I don't think it's the right thing to do intellectually, but I think it's such a big deal.
So, here's the good news about this leak, or about this paper, is that these opinions get modified 10, 15, 20 times before they vote on it. You see what I'm saying? So just because...
This is February.
Right. So it's February, and this kind of gets done in June.
Yeah.
According to Blake. He knows all about
June is the when they... that is the date that's
Blake
been
knows
given.
all about this stuff. Yeah. So So between February and now, there may be a few more versions, and then between now and June, there'll be even more versions.
Correct.
So it more than likely it won't be the version that Samuel Alito wrote
at that time. Correct.
Exactly. It'll have evolved.
Right. And then my point was I think while of the conservatives outside of Roberts, I believe that Roberts won't vote for that. He's the outlier there.
He's the outlier.
But you need one more vote to nix that. And I think that potentially Kavanaugh and Gorsuch would be the most possible. Amy Coney Barrett definitely all in. Clarence Thomas all in.
Yeah.
And Alito all in, obviously.
Yeah, but Neil Gorsuch is okay. He's not nuts.
He's not a nut job.
He's not nuts.
Not a nut job.
Brett Kavanaugh
is a nut job. Nah, he's not really a nut job.
He's not.
He's not a nut job. He was made to look like that in the hearings.
Right.
But he's not a nut job.
But he really is a middle of the road kind of guy.
He seems pretty practical.
I can't throw dirt on him.
And he has daughters.
Yes.
Do you want them to be stuck with that situation?
Yeah. I'm keeping my baby. Ooh, I'm gonna keep my baby.
Did you hear about the Amazon? The little twist.
Papa don't preach. I'm in double D. You know that song?
That's good. Yes, I like it.
I've made up my mind.
You and Tanya were great that night. He and my friend Tanya did a great little.
Yes, Tanya's a good karaoke singer.
Yes, they did a great little thing that night on Madonna. That's funny. Yes. But no. So Amazon, yes. Did you hear? They will pay up to I don't know. I can't remember the numbers. Like $3,000 or $4,000 for an Amazon employee if they need an abortion outside of a state where they can get it. Amazon's already said they'll cover it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that happened today.
So then what about the repercussions when the state says we will prosecute you if you go out of state to get an abortion?
That's an interesting thing. They have that law in Texas that would allow someone that has something to do with something that can be prosecuted by anybody. I don't know the details of it. Weird. It's weirdly weird. It's so vague. Weird. It's so vague and weird. I don't think that would stand up in even this Supreme Court if somebody challenges that. It's so vaguely weird that so somebody in Texas helps somebody get an abortion somewhere in Texas or not, or even gives them directions how to get there. There's somebody anywhere in the country could somehow sue them. Aiding and abetting.
This is weird.
It's a can of tuna fish.
It's weird. See,
you know the reference?
It's a can of tuna fish? No, what is it?
So
it's not Star Wars.
No, okay. So there's a movie with Ralph Macchio, and they're going to go to college, go through via Alabama.
My cousin Vinny.
Got it.
My cousin Vinny. Yeah.
My cousin Vinny. It's just a can of tuna.
Yeah, they're in the convenience store.
That's right.
And they're going to steal it.
It's an accident. He doesn't even mean to steal it.
Right.
He just puts it in his pocket because he's like trying to carry shit.
Yes.
Aiding and abetting.
Yes. My cousin Vinny, yes.
Aiding and abetting.
Joe Pesci. Yes.
Joe Pesci. So awesome.
Yeah. So
you should watch it if you haven't.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Two Utes. I love this new show, Buchhönher Talk.
It's great, man. It's way better than
I think when we
Big News with John and Greg.
I think when we add Buchhönher Talk to our show, it gives it more credibility.
It's just more fun too,
right? And it gives us the pleasure of stealing something from our friend Marcus Reno in Germany.
Absolutely, it's just more fun that way.
Because I love stealing from you, Marcus.
Way to go, Marcus! I'm proud of you.
I see good to show. So then we'll see what happens with that leaked paper. Somebody leaked it.
Yeah.
Had to have been somebody close.
Someone that's truly concerned about it. I think it was leaked with good intentions.
Yes, but it did.
Shouldn't happen.
It shouldn't happen because rules are rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
good. We got to move on.
So
John rambling again.
No. You're actually doing a good job tonight.
I'm rambling less.
You're rambling less.
It's the Buchhönher Talk.
I might actually give you an extra beer since you haven't been rambling so much. That's going to be your reward. I'm going to reward you in beers.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers with beer.
Prost.
Prost.
Because this is Buchhönher
It's Buchhönher time.
So
Prost.
Say Prost.
Again, the authentic German lager made in Greensboro.
Yes. So, last week we had our first time in 6 years a correspondence dinner.
Yes.
And can you tell our international viewers what a correspondence dinner is?
So, traditionally, once a year, this goes back 50, 60, 70 years. It's only been broadcast.
It goes back to Calvin Coolidge.
Calvin Coolidge, right? What is that? 1820s, yeah. So, like 100 years.
Oh, I know that from Blake. Because Blake knows everything.
Blake knows everything with politics.
Blake will put you to the test.
Well, actually, if I was better at recall, I would remember that because I've been reading about that shit.
Yeah.
But anyways, so if you happen to watch the earlier edition of this, you would know all the details. But essentially, all the big media types get together once a year. It's a little bit of a roast for the president, and some of the important people around the president, and some of the media people, and it's traditionally in the modern era it's hosted by a comedian. It's not always hosted by a comedian. It's not always funny. Generally, it is. Many people think that the reason Donald Trump actually ran for president was because Barack Obama was.
That's a ramble.
It's a ramble.
That's a ramble.
But it's a good ramble.
Okay.
Did you and Blake cover it?
We covered it.
Obama and Trump.
Not
Trump was insulted because Obama made a joke about him. Anyways,
right, and then that gave him the energy to
run.
Right.
Yes,
that's the speculation.
You know what? The distraction of it being a ramble took longer than the ramble. Okay. But I got you. It was a ramble.
Right.
Anyways, so correspondence dinner. Generally fun, a lot of sarcasm, humor. I thought Trevor Noah was phenomenal because he got enough jabs into fellow comedian correspondents, things like that. A couple into Biden, but generally it was very tame because it was the first one since Trump got in office, and then we had COVID. Did they not have any without Trump?
They had him without Trump. Because Trump was too afraid to go to it.
Correct.
Trump chickened out.
He's a pussy.
He didn't like to be made fun of.
Trump's a pussy.
He is.
This is the funny thing. People think he's tough. He's a pussy. Yes, everybody that ever gess pushed around by him is by one of his guys.
And what's funny is...
I'm sorry, Dad, if you're watching.
And what's funny is that... But we still want your money when you die.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. We still want the penthouse in Tampa.
Yeah.
Does he have a boat still?
No, I sold that to an Australian family.
Okay. We just want your riches. So anyway...
That's so not true.
Your riches,
but if they happen to come this way, I'll accept them.
Your riches and your bitches.
Yes.
Riches and bitches.
Beth, you're going to be my Aunt Beth. There we go. I hope they don't watch this. That'd be embarrassing. Anyways.
Yeah. So anyway, so
Beth can get the sense of humor on that.
Yes. So anyway, yeah. So then, I thought that Biden did a good job of being self-deprecating.
Very good.
Do you remember any of the jokes?
I don't, because I can't tell jokes.
I do.
You go, brother.
Are you ready? So he says, the first correspondence dinner was in 1820 when I was 17 years old.
That was funny. That was hilarious.
That was funny.
Hilarious.
That was funny. Yeah. And then he says, everybody in this room had to be vaccinated and boosted. And I'd just like to welcome all of the top Fox correspondents that are here tonight.
That was great. That was hilarious.
Yes.
So good.
Yes.
Very pointed.
Yes. So he was good.
I thought he was excellent.
He was good. And he even said, it's good to see people here with lower ratings even than mine.
Yes, that was funny. And do you know what? There was no teleprompter. So all these people that think he doesn't know shit. No, there's no teleprompter. Go look. I couldn't. I looked for one. I couldn't find it. I mean, maybe he had notes or something.
Okay.
Maybe he had notes.
That's strong.
He probably had notes.
That's strong.
I had notes, but I did not see a teleprompter.
But he was self-deprecating.
Absolutely.
He did a good job.
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy. He took the punches well.
Yes. He laughed. He laughed.
He did a good job.
At good jokes.
He didn't get upset and slap somebody's wife or somebody.
No.
The comedian. He didn't get up and slap Trevor Noah.
No slaps. Right. No. Trevor was safe.
Right.
But remember, Trevor did make some joke about because Biden right before he sat down made a comment something like I can't remember what it was.
He said, "Now I can say whatever I want, so I don't have to be fear about going to jail."
That's right. That was what it was. Yes.
Yeah, so,
and I like Trevor because he's South African, like my buddy Elon.
Yes. Oh, and also Biden says this is the first correspondence dinner in 6 years. First 4 years we had a plague. Second 2 years we had a pandemic.
Pandemic. Yeah.
Right. So
plague.
So he hit Trump a little bit. He hit Trump.
Yeah.
So I'm glad the Correspondence Dinner is back with the president, right? That's good.
I really miss the Obama ones. He was so funny.
Yes, and they did
of all the presidents I've seen, he was the best at delivering a joke.
And they fucked with him about his birthday.
Yeah.
They really fucked with him about being born in Canada or Hawaii or something, right?
Yeah.
So it was a good job. It was a good job. You want to talk anything more about
I'm good. We should
Correspondence Dinner.
We should keep us short and sweet here.
You want to press on?
Let's move on. Let's move on. I could talk. You know me. I could ramble on for hours on this one.
Okay, Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard.
Okay, so I'm somewhat familiar with this, but I don't have any in-depth knowledge. So, Greg, do you know about this? Can you fill everybody in on this?
I've been keeping pretty close track of what's going on.
Well, I'm going to learn something now too.
Yeah. So then, essentially, what happened was Amber Heard a couple years ago sued Johnny Depp in the UK and won.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know if it was an abuse charge or if it was a defamation charge.
Okay.
But she sued him and won.
Okay.
So then she came back here and she wrote an op-ed. She wrote an op-ed in a major newspaper like Washington Post and New York Times. And she described herself as a public figure and a victim. And everything in the paper, although Johnny Depp's name wasn't said, pointed to Johnny Depp. Okay?
I gotcha.
So
she did not use his name, but she implied it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's like the guy who works at a shoe shop who drives a Tesla.
That's me.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm guilty. Right. Guilty as charged.
Yeah. So can't say it was this other guy, right? So anyway. Right.
Doesn't he live in like France as his main?
He has a nice crib in France.
Yeah.
Which is up for sale for $63 million.
That's the pay. That's court costs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then Johnny Depp rested his case today.
Okay.
Because he went first, so he presented his testimony.
Okay.
He rested his case. But let me tell you something. I haven't seen the movies, but I've watched YouTube videos of it. He really projected Captain Jack Sparrow while he was giving testimony.
I love Pirates of the Caribbean movies. They're not great movies, but they're so entertaining.
I like them, but
they're fun.
But what I found interesting was he
was projecting that.
You could see
interesting
Jack Sparrow in his testimony.
He's done that so long; it's maybe part of his personality now.
Might be part of his personality.
He's played that character for like 25 years,
and he's funny.
He is. He's talented.
When he answered the questions, he used a lot of.
As an actor, I like him a lot, but it sounds like he's maybe a little creepy.
I don't think he's creepy. I think he
creep's not the right word.
The divorce cost $14 million. Wow. 14.
And he paid the bills.
I guess he had to pay the bills, right?
Well,
it cost him $14 million for the divorce.
Wow. Okay.
I don't think any woman could give me $14 million worth of pussy.
I don't think so.
No.
Well,
no.
I like some pussy, but $14 million?
$14 million worth of ass?
No.
I don't think it exists for me. It just doesn't exist.
No.
So he would have been just better off just having a girlfriend.
Yeah.
A guy like him needs a girlfriend. Just a girlfriend. A living girlfriend.
Yeah.
He's good looking. He's successful. Yeah. He's likable. He's got a great sense of humor.
He's charming.
He just needs a girlfriend.
Yeah.
He doesn't need a wife.
Well, Elon works so much that he's in a similar situation, but for a different reason.
Right.
Women love him, but he has no time for them. So he's better off with a girlfriend.
Well, right. Well, he's married, right?
No. Grimes and him have 2 babies.
Oh, they're not married.
No, they never got married.
They just live together.
They learned. They're not even a thing now, but she has moved to Austin so that he and the babies can be together.
But they're together.
They are not a couple, but the babies. She's in Austin, Texas, where he spends most of his time, so that he can be a father to the baby. Okay. It's a very amicable situation.
Okay.
But he's so busy. He works literally 7 days a week.
Let's get back to Johnny Depp and then
correct. This is the Twitter discussion.
Right. So anyway, then there's this trial, and Johnny Depp rested his testimony today.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So Amber Heard's up next. So we'll see what happens if he wins or loses his defamation case. Seems like to me he'll win. In public court, in the court of public opinion, he's won.
I think so. What I've seen of his, again, this is why I'm not an expert on this. I've seen some of his presentation. I think, to me, it sounds good.
They asked him a question. I mentioned this earlier with Young Business. They asked him, the prosecutor says, well, on this date, you took a flight from New York to Los Angeles with Miss Heard. Is that correct? Yes, sir. And you were in the airplane alone with her, right? Yes, sir. And is it true that you were taking drugs and drinking? Can you please repeat the question? Is it true you were taking drugs and drinking? He says, I was taking drugs. He says, what drugs were you taking? Opiates. Were you drinking? No. Why weren't you drinking? He says, well, I was having such a tough day with Amber Heard. He called her Miss Heard. I was having such a tough day with Miss Heard. I took a double dose of opiates so I could handle it. And he says, so is it true you also drank bourbon? He says, sir, when you take a double dose of opiates, you don't have time to drink.
It's an interesting confession, then, that he has a drug problem. He is funny. He's a funny guy.
And
I like
the whole trial, they were trying to hit him with all these drugs.
Right.
He's like, yes, I use drugs. I'm always fucked up. I'm always high.
Mm-hmm.
I wake up in the morning and I drink bourbon. It's what I do.
Right.
So he didn't deny it.
No. Okay.
Right? Because there's no crime in doing that.
No.
Right?
So, opioids are prescribed.
Right. Not necessarily to him.
No.
But
it'd probably be better for him if marijuana was legal and he was doing edibles.
Right.
Probably. I don't know. I'm not a pot person myself, but I know people that are.
So he's in the middle of the trial. So maybe the next podcast we can talk about the end result, right? So
sounds good.
Let's go on to something funny.
Yeah.
Right?
The Joker.
Buchhönher talk. Schönen Abend, Buchhönher talk.
Comedy.
Here in Greensboro. So, ein Komiker, Dave Chappelle.
Let me some Dave.
Dave Chappelle was in Los Angeles at the Hollywood Bowl doing a comedy routine.
Wasn't it sort of a benefit comedy routine? Like there was raising funds for some good cause too? I don't know.
I don't know.
No facts there.
I don't want to say something that's not true.
No facts there.
But he was in L.A. at a comedy show at a place called.
It was the Bowl.
The Hollywood Bowl.
Hollywood Bowl.
And towards the end, a heckler came out of the woodwork.
Came up on stage.
And say what happened.
Came on stage and attacked him. And he had a fake gun that actually had a knife in it. Okay. Did you know this?
I knew the gun was fake. I knew it had a knife.
But it has a knife in it. And so what you do is you actually you pull the trigger to open the knife.
I see.
But the security guards prevented it from going too far.
I see. And then Jamie Foxx was there.
Right.
And Chris Rock was there.
Chris Rock came. I know Chris Rock came up and made a joke.
What was the joke?
Kind of about
he said, "Was that Will Smith?"
Yes, I couldn't think of his name. Was that Will Smith? Yeah, exactly.
Was that Will Smith?
Couldn't think of Will Smith's name.
Right.
I put him out of my mind. He's banned from the Oscars for what? 5 years?
10
years? 10 years, something like that.
I don't even watch The Fresh Prince anymore. I don't.
Yeah. I'm gonna have a hard time not watching reruns of the Alien movie. What is that called?
I don't know, but
God, I love that movie.
I have no love for him.
I mean, neither. But Tommy Lee Jones, I like him. He's
that Men in Black.
Men in Black, yeah.
Men in Black. So yeah, so then here's a question: what does that mean for comics? Now that we've had 2 in a row,
and that is the concern.
I think it was a copycat.
Yeah,
it was a copycat for sure.
100%. I'm sure.
But what does that mean for comics?
Yeah, Bill Maher spoke to a concern about that a couple weeks ago on his show.
What did he say?
Well, he was basically saying comedy is comedy. You know, what makes it funny is that you challenge people to think through making comments that aren't necessarily always friendly.
So what was the comment that...
I could not tell you the exact quote. I could tell you the essence of what he was saying. But the point was this. What happened to at the Oscars is something that might trigger people to react to comedians that way. And this is what we see with the Chappelle incident. But because, you know, Bill Maher makes more money on his HBO show, but he's still a stand-up comic, and he does a tour every year. Mm-hmm. And he literally was concerned that this would create an environment where people felt it was okay to do stupid shit, things like that. So, and here he predicts it, and it happens.
So, what was it that Dave Chappelle said about the guy who attacked him?
Honestly, I don't know.
He yelled something.
I don't know what it was, but I know you know more about the Dave Chappelle issues that's going on with people with LGBT stuff. Maybe was it something related to that? Yeah,
so then Dave Chappelle said, "Oh, was that a trans man?"
Okay.
Who had attacked him, a trans man.
Okay.
And that's from his show he did a few months ago.
Right.
Where Planet Earth tried to cancel him, but it didn't work.
Right.
It didn't work.
Comedy is necessary. It looks into our soul.
Well, right. And so what happened was he made a joke about transsexual people. But then after the joke, he went on and he talked about how he met this comedian, this trans comedian, who came to his show whenever he was in California. And then she says, "Can I come up and perform with you?" And she came up and she performed. And she bombed. He says in his special, she bombed. Right? But she sat down and she still had a smile on her face. And then...
there was respect.
Right. And then they spoke. She would come and always do a bit on the show, right? This trans woman. Okay? And then...
so it's a question where a trans woman means it's a guy that thinks she's a girl? Or a girl that thinks she's a guy?
I think it was a guy
thinks he's a girl,
and he's turning into a girl.
He's doing the hormones and
wearing a dress.
Gotcha. Okay. Right. And by me asking that question, I'm not saying this transgender shit isn't real, but there was a thing where guys think they're girls and girls think they're guys.
You make me mad, I'll put on my skirt and scratch your ass. Make me mad, I will put on my skirt and I will scratch you.
He's a scary dude.
I'll put on my mini skirt.
Yeah. Oh, ouch.
I'll shave first.
Buchhönher.
Buchhönher talk.
Buchhönher talk.
Buchhönher talk. Shirts in edition. I mean skirt.
Okay.
Shirts in edition.
All right.
So anyway, so yeah. So then, but see, at the show, he says.
So he's sort of respectful.
He says in his watch this. Mm-hmm. He says, so then this girl come up, she did her bit and she bombed, but we stayed in touch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So there's respect.
And then later on, a few months later, she was harassed and she committed suicide.
Oh, wow.
He says this in the show.
That's spooky.
He says this in the show.
Wow.
She was harassed and she committed suicide. Okay.
That's unfortunate.
So what he did was he made a trust for her baby that when the baby turned 18, the baby didn't have to worry about nothing. Could go to school and worry about nothing. He did
Good
this
for him.
unadvertised. Yeah. Unadvertised.
Wow. That's profound.
Unadvertised. So he made fun of the trans people, and then he talks about a real life trans issue about her being harassed.
That is a problem.
Leading to suicide. Yeah. And he felt so compelled to give her kid a trust. Now, all these people who are bitching and moaning, who want to cancel him, how many trusts have they given to people?
Great question. That is fantastic, because that really gets to the essence. It's a joke. It's a joke.
It's a joke.
We as a modern world have gotten too. This leads into Twitter too. We've gotten too oversensitive about stuff. I don't know that I mean, in person, people don't necessarily take things too serious. But somehow on social media or in broadcast, everybody's gotten oversensitive about everything. It's really disturbing. It's like the cancel culture, woke stuff, all that stuff. That's all that stuff comes from this oversensitivity.
And you know what it is? It's 1%.
It's a very small percent
of the nut jobs that are guiding this narrative.
Oh yeah,
it's 1%.
The normal people, nothing. Yeah, you're right. It's the loud. That's the thing. It's always the small percentages that are loud of the population. Right? They're almost always they're nut jobs of some sort. This is why they're loud. They have a one item agenda thing.
I also think people, I don't like to use the word millennial because I'm not quite sure what that means. I guess that means like the younger generation.
Younger people.
But the people younger than us, whatever age that may be, I think they're so used to being coddled and they're so offended if you say something to them sideways.
Yes.
Oh me. Hey man,
it's a joke.
It's a joke, bro.
Yeah, it's a joke.
It's a joke. Get over it.
I don't remember who it was, but some comedian.
You can't even hit your kid anymore.
No, but there was some comedian.
I got the
many
fucking
years
scars
ago,
to prove that it was legal at one time. and this is how it turned out.
Some comedian. God bless you. And I'm not religious, but I still, God bless you. You're awesome. This comedian made this point that a joke is not actually funny unless there's truth to it.
That's correct.
Right? So you don't just say something and it's funny. There has to be something behind it that makes it funny, and usually there's some truth, which is why someone that's coddled too much or whatever might be hurt by it, because you're making a good point. But it is comedy. You learn from it. You don't cow and recede from it. It's something that should make you stronger.
If somebody says a joke to me about me being short, about me wearing glasses or having big teeth or whatever, if it's funny, I'll laugh. And typically it's funny.
Look, Biden did exactly that at the Correspondence Dinner. He laughed. That's a big man. Unlike Mr. Trump. Funny. Mr. Trump is a pussy who can't take a joke. He's a bully.
He is. He is a bully.
Anybody watching like Trump, anybody who like Trump, good for you. But the guy is not someone to look up to. He's just not. There are plenty of people that have great ideas.
Let's spend our tape not beating up on Trump.
No. I'm just saying, try to not worship the man.
Because cameras have tape.
Yeah, tape. Exactly.
They have tape.
Oh, you mean a record of it? That's what tape is, right?
Yeah,
it's a record
of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tape might be running out.
Anyways, so let's move on. Where are we right now?
So
our time here.
So that was Dave Chappelle.
Just an FYI for me. Where are we on time?
Where are we on time? We are at 41 minutes.
See, we're too long because of me. I'm rambling.
It's okay.
Okay. Let's move on here.
So then, are comedians under attack? Yes or no?
100%. It's disturbing.
They're under attack.
I don't think they all are, but there are going to be the nut jobs.
They're under attack from the physical standpoint.
Mm-hmm. Hecklers are fine.
There's going to be far and few in between people running up on stage.
Yeah.
Far and few in between.
Absolutely. But and hecklers are fine.
Feelings hurt. Yeah. There's going to be plenty of them. Yeah. You know what I say? Fuck them.
Yeah. Absolutely. Get over it.
Because I've had.
Don't go to the show.
Don't go to the show.
Don't watch it.
That's right. Don't go to the show. All right. So now we're going to talk about your favorite topic.
Elon Musk. I love Elon. I respect the hell out of him. Okay.
So, the last time you and I spoke...
He's not a bully.
He is not a bully, no. So, last time you and I spoke, he had bought a percentage of Twitter, of shares, and then the board said, well, you can buy only like 14.8 or 14.9%.
Right, poison pilled it.
And if you try to buy over that, then we've got this poison pill that disallows you from buying more. And so he was like, fuck it, I'll just buy the whole company and go private.
We actually proposed that even before that. They threw the poison pill up to try to prevent him from doing that.
The only problem is he knows how to raise funds.
He has funds and knows how to raise them. Correct.
Right.
Yes. Poison pill, look it up. We don't have time. Google it. It's an interesting subject. It's a technical investment.
So let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. Does the board of Twitter have to approve his purchase?
Yes.
Why did they approve it?
I think partly because Jack Dorsey, who started Twitter, is the biggest supporter of Elon taking it over. He actually owns less Twitter than Elon did, but he said that, and at some point they just realized that if they don't, they're first of all, who's going to buy them? So the poison pill suggests that somebody else wants to come buy them for something the similar amount of money or more. So when you get into this is one of the weird things about.
But why did the board allow him to make the purchase? Why didn't the board say, no, it's not for sale, we're still going to keep our shares, and we're still going to, because you still get rich off of the Twitter shares. Why did they say, okay, you can buy it?
Well, honestly, at this point, we really don't know. There's nothing public been spoken about by the board. But did
he offer so much per share that it was difficult to say no?
We offered enough that it was over what the current value was by over $10 per share.
So he offered more than $10 per share?
Over what it was trading at.
Gotcha.
But that was when they installed the poison pill. So,
Why they cave?
It's complicated. I do believe that Jack Dorsey, he started Square after he started Twitter. He used Twitter money to create Square, which is great for like mobile food service and things like that. It's not necessarily the best, but it's a good one. But he started that.
It's the de facto standard.
It is the de facto standard, correct. So and Jack he's even defined himself as some modern era hippie or something, right? But he and Elon are they're not exactly buds, like they'll hang out all the time, but there's a mutual respect. I'm thinking has something to do with, because Jack endorsed Elon after the poison pill.
So then you think Jack
on
Dorsey
Twitter
helped push it through?
I believe so. Okay. I have no knowledge of that. I don't know any of these people. But if you follow Twitter and you see what he said, this is a paraphrase, I believe Elon Musk is the only person that is equipped to solve the problems of Twitter.
Okay, so then tell me what the problems of Twitter are.
Yes. Okay. There are a lot of bots. Like, so you get your spam phone calls.
Keep it concise. No.
Like, who has a phone that it rings 25 times more than actual calls if you want? Robocalls.
So there's an issue with
big problem with bots.
So he wants to authenticate people.
Correct. Okay. If you're a real person, you should be authenticated.
What else is he not? What else is he want to do?
Yeah, well, he announced that he wanted to make it the town square for the world, and so he wants to endorse free speech. There's a paranoia going on the left in the U.S., and there's a joy going on the right in the U.S. that somehow he's going to open it up to all kinds of crazy shit. I don't believe that's the case, because he's also been careful to say a couple of key things, that we will abide by the laws in the jurisdiction where we operate. So no fire in the theater comments.
Right.
He also really pointed out that he was a big supporter of President Obama. All right? I think that was a way of saying we want rational talk.
Okay, so then free speech. He's going to protect free speech. Now let me ask you this.
It's a private company which is not controlled by the Constitution. So it's an interpretation of that.
Okay, so then he doesn't seem like the type of person that's going to allow people to start a hate group and
but that's the paranoia on the left. He's not.
That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Right? No. He is a person.
Do you think he's called up Trump and said, "Hey, come on back"?
Well, Trump has already said he's not coming back because he's created a new platform.
But if it doesn't work out, do you think he'll allow Trump to
I think Trump could certainly apply for reinstatement, but I think he'd have to prove something. That's just my guess.
I think he's already proved everything. He's fucked up.
Right, but I'm saying he would not automatically be reinstated. He would have to apply for some sort of reinstatement, is what I think. But I don't know. I'm just what the point I really want to make about Musk is that almost everything he's done in his life that we have evidence of suggests he means he really wants the betterment of humanity. That was the word. That was what I was looking for. He wants to.
I'm your helper.
Thank you. He wants to make the world a better place. The reason he wants to go to Mars is so that it inspires us all to believe that there's something else that we can do as humans, multiplanetary. Some tragedy happens on Earth. There's a lifeboat up there. It also the vehicles that could do that can also do things like go to the moon, and we can mine meteors, and we can do great things. In the late 60s and 70s, when we had the space race, people were inspired by that. He wants people inspired again. It's having this drudge, I got a job, I do this, and he wants to inspire people. So there's no way in my mind that he's going to do anything they'll make Twitter a bully site, which is the paranoia on the left.
Right. And so I'm not motivated by paranoia.
Me neither. At all. This is why we do this show.
I'm not motivated by it. Here, I'll give you a little bit of this. So yes,
I wasn't going to say gracias, but this is the Buchhönher.
Danke.
Danke. Danke.
No cambia.
Yes.
Say that. No cambia.
No cambia. Yeah. Prost.
Prost. Prost. Buchhönher talk.
Thank you, sir.
So anyway, yeah. So then I actually trust Elon. I don't think he would buy Twitter and use it in a reckless manner.
Absolutely not.
I don't think he'd do it.
If you look at everything he's done, it's always better. How do people pay for stuff online? PayPal. That's him. Right? I have a Tesla. Best thing I've ever owned, period. Of anything I've ever owned. Solar roof panels. You did tiles. You put solar tiles.
Sure.
You did everything.
Sure.
The goal
we
is to be the best.
We can go on and on.
The goal is to be the best.
Okay. So
make life better.
So anything else we need to talk about?
No, we got to go on to the pop quiz. We're already way over my time goal.
Okay. So there's nothing else we need to talk about.
There are things we can talk about
on
I want
our
a pop
show.
question.
Buchhönher talk. This is our show, Buchhönher.
This is our show, and I'm proud of it, but it's longer than it should be because of me.
The outro music is 3 minutes long.
Okay.
So I'm going to play the outro music, ask you the pop question. That gives you the 3 minutes.
Okay.
And you can't take all three because you've got to ask me the same question. Okay, so you can't fuck this up.
All right.
Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, here's our outro music. Did you enjoy the show?
The show was great. It's great.
It was very good.
It was a very good show.
Are you ready for the pop question?
I am.
If you were stranded on an island with a record player and speakers and had electricity, which album would you want? One album would you want on that island?
Desert island, right? Or like a small
desert island. You just got one album to take with you.
So, one of my all-time favorite albums is Moving Pictures by Rush, which goes into the first pop question. I love that album. But it is a little more of a rock and roll thing than you might want all the time. So I'd say it's between that, Asia by Steely Dan.
One album, John.
I'm thinking through it.
The song ends. I just have to give my answer.
Okay, Greg, I'm gonna let you answer first then. What's yours?
Rush, Permanent Waves.
Good album. I think I'd still stick with Moving Pictures, but I get for Permanent Waves.
So Rush, Moving Pictures?
Yes.
What's go wrong with Rush?
No, let's go with Moving Pictures. Yes.
Moving Pictures.
Yes. I would never get bored with that.
I wouldn't either. Nor the Permanent Waves.
No. I like Permanent Waves. I like Moving Pictures slightly better, but I could live with Permanent Waves too, though. Especially you're on an island.
Thank you for joining me on Buchhönher Talk.
Ja, danke.
Danke schön. So, this has been the big news with John and Greg. Buchhönher Talk edition.
Greensboro take.
And we're glad you came. Prost, mach's gut. Ich hoffe, alles gut bei euch. Schönen Abend.
Schönen Abend. Chugged it down.